Hello, hello, hello. Testing, testing, one, two, three. Cool. Um, I'm really excited now because I couldn't bear it anymore. I've booked a ticket for Oppenheimer, so I'm really excited about watching it. I'm driving quite a way to go see it. So, yeah, it's gonna be awesome. And therefore, I won't stay much longer because I have a long journey ahead of me. Um, I think I'll probably stop around 4 o'clock to try and get there on time. A little bit later wouldn't matter. I just thought, let's just see if we can get through this part or a little bit of it. And then finally, um, I'm going to do some stuff from this book offline. So I apologize for that, but I need to get cracking through this other if I'm not going to achieve anything. So anyway, here I am. So um, let's read this again because I didn't fully understand it. I'm okay with things letting them fly past me, but sometimes if I feel like I can get a handle on it, then I would like to read it again and try and work it out. So suppose we wish to expand a vector v in an orthonormal basis. So once again, an orthonormal basis means that all the vectors are orthogonal to each other, which means that the inner product equals 0, and that all vectors are size or magnitude 1. To find the components that go into the expansion, we proceed as follows. So to find the components that go into the expansion is that what are the components that make up that vector? We take the dot product of both sides of the assumed expansion with J uh, or J if you are a purist. So ket or bra. So we have this the vector's components um, are here vi. We go over them, we sum them together, uh, we sum the product of that plus the basis, the vector basis, which ends up being this. And that's because there's a mathematical proof here that, sorry, there is a proof enough for me that says that these are linearly independent, um, and that's because when you do a linear combination of them, they will equal the null vector. Okay, cool. We take the dot product of both sides of the assumed expansion with J, or J if you're a purist. So if we look at this, the inner product of J and V is the sum of all the components multiplied by the inner products of the basis normal and that equals Vj. So let's see. Oh, it's just logged me out again. Bugger. 1 second. I have to stand up and get my face in there. There you go. Right. So let's see if we can crack this nut open. Ew. Let me start again because I can't remember what I was doing. So um, it says that J and V equals the sum of I, and then it's got V I, no, J I, which is the Kronecker delta. I don't know how to do that, do you? Let's see, let me draw this properly. It's this. Alright, not quite. But anyway, that'll do. So, if we were to say that is not a sum of, if we were to say that, let's say J, J, but I don't understand why J here is lowercase. Why is J lowercase? We take the dot product of both sides of the assumed expansion with vector J. Let's go back to this because that's quite interesting addition here. Note the following. J, sum of Vi equals Vj. In terms of J, I notice that it's a lowercase rather than uppercase. This is to say that it's not a vector like V. Therefore, can you explain why J is lowercase? That's what it says. Oh, this jumper's a bit hot actually. Shouldn't have worn this. In the expressions you've written, good. JV equals sum of Vij equals Vj. The symbol J is a lowercase letter and it's used as an index rather than as a vector itself. It's labeling a particular component of the vector or a specific basis vector in the expansion. When we write JV, we're referring to the inner product between the basis vector J and the vector, yeah, we know that, which is the coefficient of J, yeah. The coefficient is denoted by Vj. The jth component of the vector V. The lowercase j is simply a label or an index, and it tells us which particular basis vectors or components we're referring to. In this context, it doesn't represent a vector itself, so it's written in lowercase to distinguish it from vector symbols like V, which are usually written. So if the above was written as some Python code, what would it look like? What would it look like? Sure, here's a Python example. This example assumes that the vector v and the basis vectors I are represented as lists, and the sum is over a discrete set of indices. So here's the basis vectors, we agree with this. Here's a vector, and then a reconstructed v. Reconstructed v is using the sum over the basis vectors. So we're going over the length of v, so that's from 0 to 2, or well 1 to 3 actually. And then inner product equals the dot product of basis vectors I, so we're going to do the dot product of that versus v. The outer product is the inner product times the basis component, and the basis component is the basis vectors. So yeah, okay, so that becomes a that, and then the reconstructed v equals the reconstructed v j. So j has come from the reconstructed v. So that's interesting. So reconstructed v. I see. So it's just up there. Original v, reconstructed v. Compute JV for a particular j, e.g. j equals 1. So j inner product equals the dot product of these. Okay, I see. So in this case, it's actually reassigning vj vector j. So it's saying this is equal to vector j. Okay, let's just instead of reconstructed v, can you put the letters that are in the equations, please? In this code, I've used variable names that closely mirror the math, such as inner product IV for the inner product. Okay. So therefore, we've got basis vectors. A v reconstructed is the vector equals the sum. equals the sum I multiplied by ket I. So V reconstructed is saying that they why is it reconstructed to 0, 0, 0? I think I've lost the point here. This corrected code will properly reconstruct the original vector and the output will be is showing how you so this expression is showing how you can represent a vector as a linear combination of basis vectors, each weighted by the corresponding component of V in that basis. This isn't just an abstract mathematical exercise, it has important conceptual significance in quantum mechanics. Here's why. Representation in different bases. The equation is saying that you can represent the vector in any basis you like, provided you know how to express the vector in that basis. This flexibility is crucial. Understanding vector. Okay, okay, fine. No, I don't understand it. But I see how J is being redefined here. Um, because if I go back to the last one, well, okay, let's just look at this one. Where's the J come in? J inner product. So it says J is equal to 1, so it's saying for any component, no, for any basis vector, the inner product of any basis vector V is equal to the sum of I. So let me. I don't know how to really describe this. Let's say J is equal to let's say J is equal to uh, 0, 1, 0, right? And so then we say V is equal to, well, maybe I can fit it here. I might be able to fit it here. V is equal to 2, 3, 2. Then this inner product is going to be it's going to be 0 times 2 is 2 plus 1 times 3 is 3 plus 0 is going to equal 5. And at the same time, if we do the other side, so if we squiggle that out and put a little bracket around that, we've got VI. Oh, so I is counting up to 3. So you've got 3 times. Well, let's do it. Let's just do it. So it's going to be 2 times J, which is 0, in a product of this would need to be in the case of this one, it would need to be. All right, let's do this again because that's wrong. No, no, that's all it is doing. I see. Oh, I see, I see, I see. So it's just saying, I did do it right in a way because I simply just didn't like. It's not saying that they should be equal. It's just saying it now equals this. Which I suppose in a way I expect this symbol. Um, so maybe if I just try this a little bit though. So um, uh, yeah, okay. So J is some predetermined part, right? So actually the vector is made up of many components, and so let's do I see. Okay, so let's do this um 1 1 2 or something like that, right? And J is uh yeah, okay. So J would equal, let's say we want J equals to 1, so or 1, so it's going to be equal to 0 0 0 1 1 1 0 0 0, I guess. Let's put it through GPT after. And so then let's do this again if I just move this up. This would mean that the inner product of J and V is equal to 2 times, well, okay, maybe this isn't right. Maybe it does need to be that. It's just that the vector, mm, is this why it's talking about a transpose? Hang on, hang on. It's saying that because, I understand what it's saying now. Is it saying J um must be uh transpose transpose um because it is in itself just a single component, whereas V is many components. And so the inner product of J and V is interesting because it requires the map we referred to earlier. Maybe that's what it's saying, I think, here. Yes, you're touching on some important concepts here. Transpose an inner product. When we talk about the inner product between two vectors, we are typically dealing with column vectors. The inner product of two column vectors, A and B, is denoted as A transpose B, where A transpose is a conjugate transpose, also known as of A. In other words, you take the complex conjugate of the entries of a... But in the context of the idea of expressing states as sums over basis vectors is central to how we understand and compute. The coefficients J, V give you the probability amplitudes for finding the system in the corresponding basis states when you measure it. Different basis, so this representation helps you compute the probabilities. To be clear, in this equation, Because um, I am assuming J is a single component of the original V. Oh no, is a single component of the basis vectors. And so we have a problem because V is many components. J is just a single, I guess, row vector, many components. Um, as it's just so because V is many components in a row vector, um, it's many components, many row vectors. J is just a single row vector, and so multiplying a single row with many rows requires this transpose so that we can take many and make one output. So we can apply the inner product rules. Or am I completely wrong? I understand the confusion. Let's go through the equation step by step to clarify. This is saying that V can be expressed as a sum over basis vectors. V can be expressed over the sum of basis vectors, so here they are, weighted by the components, Okay, here I is the dual vector, bra, corresponding to I, and IV gives the ith component of V. You said IV gives the ith component of V, but isn't it rather the inner product? The notation I indeed represents the inner product between the basis vectors. In the context of an orthonormal basis, the inner product gives the ith component of V when expressed in that basis. Here's how it works. In an orthonormal basis, the basis vectors are chosen such that ij is equal to Kronecker delta. Is the Kronecker delta equal to 1 if I equals j and 0 otherwise? If you express the vector in this basis, its components are given by the inner products with the basis vectors. If you express the vector in this basis, its components are given by the inner products with the basis vectors. When you take the inner product with a specific basis vector, j, only the term corresponding to I equals j survives in the sum, and you obtain the jth component of... That's what we learnt before, wasn't it? The inner product here is serving the role of picking out the component of v along the direction of the basis vector, and the sum over I collapses to a single term due to the properties of the Kronecker delta in the orthonormal basis. Right, we need to understand this. There's no point just hurrying off with this one. So, because this is a Kronecker delta, I totally forgot about this. So, Kronecker delta, because that's the Kronecker delta, if I equals 1, j equals 0. If, what was it again? Equal to, where d is the Kronecker delta, equal to 1 if I equals j and 0 otherwise. Oh, I see. If I equals j, d y equals 1. Otherwise, so let's put this. So it's actually the Kronecker delta is this, isn't it? So you go it's 1 or 0 where I equals j, otherwise 0. So because it's that, interesting that it has to denote that, yeah. Because it's that, if we do, let's go back to its example again. This is saying that vector can be expressed as a sum over basis vectors. So let's say I equals 1. No, when, aha. So we could do it like this, couldn't we? We could do 0, 1, 2, and then when it's 0, or it's more so 0, 0, 0, 0, 1, 0, 1, 0, 0, 0, 1, 0, and then 0, 0, 1. If um, if I equals 0, I equals 1, 2. And so that's going to be the I. And then we've got the vector. So the vector doesn't have to be what I was saying. The vector can be the vector can be just one of these. So it could be 2, 2, 3, right? But it's saying, because I was thinking these are numbers, but they don't have to be numbers as well. They can be like functions and stuff. It could be functional. Um, so therefore, if we were to do JV, where J is equal to 1, we're pointing to this. So J is equal to 0, 1, 0. And so J, well, so J, yeah, J equals to that, and then V is going to equal um, the whole vector. So rather, let's start here instead. Can you see all this stuff? Yeah, you can. Good. Let's start here instead. Here instead, sorry. Where we go, if 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 I is 0, then it's going to be I equals 0. It'll be Vi, which is going to be 2 times 1, 2 times 1, 2 times the inner product of 1 and 0. um, Let me just think about this because I think this is still wrong. Because here I'm saying that J J and I are equal to the component inside that vector here. And then I'm saying that V is this component, but you don't, can you do this? Because it's gonna be one times 0 and that's it. 1 times 0 is 0. And so 2 times 0 is 0. And let's say I equals 1. Therefore, I don't know if this was right yet, so I equals 1, so then it's going to be 2 times uh, um, now I think I did a mistake here because this is J, so I should have done J is equal to, so the first component of J is actually 0, and the first component of V, well, I is 0, the jth component is 0, yeah, and so it should be 0 equals 0, and then this one's going to be the first component of J, but it's saying I see. It's saying that ket V is equal to the sum of VI the product of V, the ith component of V and the ket I. So we should really do that. Maybe I need to move along a little bit. I think the problem I'm getting here is I'm being a doofus. That's the problem. Let's try and do this one more time. This is gonna be long, so let me just make sure my blood sugars are right. Okay, we're good. Nice. So it's saying V is actually equal to the sum of VI multiplied by I. Now, V is equal to 2, 2, 3. Well, let's just do 2, 1, 3. Well, let's just do 1, 2, 3. Okay. And so, we're going to loop this twice. Let's just do it twice. Because V is that, then thing is the vector becomes a single number, doesn't it? Because if I do oh shit, this is so difficult. It's not difficult, but it's a lot of plates to juggle, isn't it? Uh well, for an idiot like me. if I were to do vi, so it's going to be 1, okay, where I is equal to 0, therefore it's going to be 1 times, right, and I need to define I here because, so I is a basis normal, so let's say we're going to do 0 here. It's going to equal 1, 0, 0. Well, don't really need these. And then 1 is going to equal 0, 1, 0. So it's 1 times 1. One times 0 equals 1. So that's the first part. Now let's do the second loop that we said we were going to do. So it's going to be 2, because that's over here, times 1 equals, and if we go to the, so on the 0, this is, I see. So this is actually wrong. It should more, this is hard because I'm not quite sure I understand this expression here. So can you take the following expression and use simple numbers to illustrate it? So let's go back to my, can I do, I don't have that anymore. Where is it? Here it is. For example, v equals 1, 2, 3, and I, where I equals 0, it is 1, 0, 0. I, where I equals 1, leads to equals 0, 1, 0. I tried this myself, but realized that you can't. Well, I suppose you can. It's just kind of, so let's just try this again. So this is 2 over here, and so this would be 1, 1, so it'd be that 2, 1 equals 2. And so v is equal to 3. But that can't be right because vector is a is 1, 2, 3. I should have but realize I must be confused somewhere. If I do I equals 0, therefore 1, 0 equals, if I do V equals 1, 2, 3. Did I just do this? Yeah. If I do, then the sum loop will be like this. I equals 0, therefore 1, 0 equals 1. I equals 1, therefore 2, 1 equals 2. But that means after summing those, V equals 3. But it doesn't. It equals 1, 2, 3. Is the equals sign in the equation supposed to be an assignment operator rather than equality? Okay, so the confusion here stems from the notation and understanding how the expressions relate to matrices and vectors. Let's break down the expressions step by step for the given vector v. Define the basis vectors. Define the outer products. Multiply each outer product by the corresponding component of v and sum them. So that equals 1, 0, 0 times 1, because this, plus 0, 1, 0 times 2, plus 0 equals 3. Now for the second part of the expression. Oh, I see. Of course. Yeah, yeah. Okay. I just want two of these. So, therefore, it's 1 times 1 is 1. 2 times this, two zeros, and you plus them together so they equal 1. Oh, wonderful. I see, I see, I see. Ah, I'm glad I asked. Now for the second part of the expression. So, okay, so let's do this ourselves. Holy crap, this is just ridiculous, isn't it? Uh, well, this is also, I'm not sure I understand this. Define the outer products. You've got this, but because I guess because they're just zeros, it doesn't care about them. So it kind of was also almost there. Let's backtrack a bit. So it's actually 1 times, it's 1 times 1. But it's the whole thing. It's actually the whole thing times 1. And this is what we were saying. We were actually saying this. Okay, cool. So it's 1 times 1. So 1 times 0, sorry. 1 times 0 is equal to 1 times all of this. Therefore, it equals 1, 0, 0. Okay? This makes more sense now. And then it's going to be 2 times 1 is equal to, so 2 times 1 is equal to, Well, 1 times this is 0, 1, 0, and 2 times it is 0, 2, 0. Um, yeah, that's right. So now we sum them together. So the sum of um, these is therefore 1, 0, 0 plus 0, 2, 0, which is equal to 1, 2, 0. I guess let's just make this easy for us because I think it has also done the third one. So let's do that. In fact, yeah, let's just move this down a bit. I think we've got to go after this. Equals 2, therefore it's going to be 3 times 2 equals 0. Uh, it's going to be 0, 2, 3, sorry. My apologies. And so you can actually see it. You don't need me to do it. You can see it's going to be 1, 2, 3, can't you? It's like super simple at this point because the sum of these. Okay, I see. Sum of these is equal to yeah, 1, 0, 0 plus 2, 0, 2, 0 plus 0, 0, 3 equals 1 plus 0 plus 0 is 1, and then 2, and then 3. Yeah, okay, cool. So this makes sense. Good. Now for the second part of the expression. Choose a specific j. So it says multiply each other. Yeah, okay. Choose a specific j. jv equals the sum of vi jk. Using j equals 1 an example. Let's do that. So 1 v is equal to, let's do it. So it's going to be um, j equals 1. This is j, therefore 1 v equals you're going to have uh, you're going to have, is it the transpose at this point? 1, 2, 0, 1, 2. Hang on though. Using j as 1, we calculate 1 times 0v plus 2 times 1v plus 3 times. Ah, because it's, yes, okay, because it's the ith component still. So it's saying that I need to remember the actual equation. So let's just move this for a second. So v equals 1, 2, 3. The equation is j v is equal to the sum of I v j multiplied by the inner product of j and I, which is Kronecker delta. Good. And so now I can say the j, so j equals 1, therefore the inner product of, therefore j, therefore 1 is 0, 1, 0 times uh, well, actually, 0 v is equal to, no, not sorry, 0, I'm getting confused. 1 is going to be 0 times 1 plus, but it's not, it's the vjth, so that's right, yeah, is it vj or vi? Oh, it's vi, oh, sorry, okay, vi, ji. So it'll be 1, because this is j, not I, it'll be 1 times 0, 1, 0 inner product of I, which is 1, 0, 0. Okay, oh my god. Let's do the next step, because it's the sum of, well, oh no. Oh no, my tablet's frozen. 1 second. Come back to me. Okay. It's going to be plus. So the second one is going to be 2 times 0, 1, 0, and then it's going to be the 2, 0, 1, 0, right? And then plus 3, 0, 1, 0, 0, 0, 1. Good. And so now, let's compress this up a bit. Whoops. Like that. Nah. Like that. Okay. And so, whoa. Oh, fuck it. Let's just do this. Equals like that. Yeah, okay. So it'll be 0 times 1 equals 0. It'll be 1 times 0 equals 0. 0 times 0 equals 0. And so the inner product of those is 0. Now the second one is 0 times 0, 1 times 1, 0 times 0 equals 1. And then this will be 0 times 0, 1 times 0, 0 times 1 equals 0. So then it's going to be, therefore, IV is equal to 1 times 0 plus, or it's actually, sorry, not I, it's going to be 1V is equal to the sum of all of those. So it's going to be 1. Let's see where I went wrong, and then I've got to go, basically. So I've given this a try myself. I found, yeah, 1 is equal to 1, 0, 1, 0. Uh, 1, 0, 0. 2 is 2, 1, 0. And then 3, 3, 1, 0. Therefore, the sum of these will be equal to 1. Well, equals 0 times 1 plus 1 times 0 plus 0 times 0 equals 0 equals 0 times 0 plus 1 times 1 plus 0 times 0 equals 1. 0 times 0 plus 1 times 0 plus 0 times 1 equals 0. Therefore, the sum of these will be 1. Therefore, IV is equal to 1. Let's clarify the concept again. Given V, you have the basis vectors, those. Then expression for the reconstruction of V is V equals that. Let's look at the individual components. For I equals 0, the term will be ket 0, which is 1, 0, yep, which is equal to 1 times 1 times 2 times 3. I did that all right. Times, did I do that all right? I've got 0, 1, 0 times 2. Summing all the terms together, we get 1, 2, 3. You can also compute the inner product of the V. For I equals 0, the term will be... No, because this is... No, 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 no. This is for the other one, dude. No, no, I mean for part. The right hand side of the equation is summing over all the components I, taking the ith component of V, multiplying and some of these results. However, due to the nature of the basis vector, only the j term will survive in the sum and all the other terms will vanish. That's why we end up with Vj. Let's take j equals 1 for example. So when I equals 0, the term is V0, 0. Um, what? If we take j equals 1, oh, I see. This isn't I. This isn't J. No, it is J. Um, sorry. My apologies. I mistyped. It's actually. Is that an I or a J? I can't bloody see. J. There you go. That's what's in the book. Now, if that's the case, is mine correct? So J of V equals that, yeah. Note that JV is a Kronecker delta. That's better. Okay, that's what we got. That's what we got. So since J is a Kronecker delta, it will be 1 if I equals 0 and 0 otherwise. So only the term where I is J will contribute to the sum, which is correct, where I is J. This is lovely actually. So where this is the only one we care about, and that's because I 1 is equal to J 1. And that's what we said over here, right? We said that it's 1 where I equals J. Oh, it's so cool. I see. So it's just simplification. I see. Uh, since Ji is a constant, it will be 1. So for J equals 0, it'll be... No. Yeah, for J equals 1. Um, for J equals 1, we've got 1v, which is equal to 1 1 times v times 1, which is 1. So yeah, v1 times 1. v1 is 2. Okay, yeah, of course. I snooped on that. Um, it's this one, isn't it? So, oops, it's this one. So it's 2 times 1. Yeah, 1. Yeah, 1v equals. Yeah. Okay. 2 times 1, which is equal to 2. Yes, we've got it. Okay, cool. Yo! We are doing math. Oh yeah. Okay, that's awesome. I understand it. So it says I find the jth component of a vector. We take a dot product with the jth unit vector, exactly as with arrows. Using this result, we may write the sum of v. Let us make sure the basis vectors look as they should. If we set v equals j in so what's next? Okay, so I'm going to do this last part on my own, but we've got it right. So I'm gonna go to my movie now. But we've learnt it. We've undone it. Yes, and I think that's what it's trying to say here, like how obvious it is that I equals j, Kronecker delta, all that stuff. So well played. Yeah, awesome. Uh, I'm excited. I'll do this another time, and I won't be here tomorrow.